Okay, everybody hit the got it, and then we are live. We're live.
Good afternoon and welcome to the February Town of Islip Board meeting. And I'd like to begin by asking Councilman Jim O'Connor, Councilman from the 2nd Islip Council District, to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I think as we all know, February is Black History Month, and it's an opportunity for the town to celebrate its diverse cultures and heritages of Islip residents and acknowledge the many contributions of our diverse neighbors, volunteers, and professionals who enrich our town every day. While COVID has placed limitations on the reality of hosting in-person celebrations, although I'm hopeful that in the not too distant future, we can get back to some of that again, we still revere and honor the tradition of Black History Month. And what we're going to do today, we have a little brief tour of some of our past honorees. We found some of the photos from some of the past celebrations and thought we would share them with you today. So if you would join me in viewing this brief tribute to our residents in the town. Thank you so much. You know, we really are so fortunate here in the town to be home to such a diverse community and a community that truly embraces our diversity. One of the last photos that you saw this past year, we had the opportunity of celebrating Islip High School senior Twyla Joseph, who was chosen to be on the cover of Time Magazine's April story last year, The Lost Year. She's become an inspiration for so many during what was truly a tough year for students and really all of us. We're proud to call her one of our own and wish her continued success in the many bright years that lay ahead of her. February is also Heart Health Month, and it gives us an opportunity for all to focus on their cardiovascular health disease being the #1 killer of women, killing more than all other forms of cancer combined. This past week, our Town of Islip employees joined in wearing red for National Wear Red Day in order to raise awareness of cardiac health. You know, according to the CDC, taking care of your heart can be as simple as the ABCs. Talk to your healthcare team about aspirin, blood pressure control, and cholesterol management. and certainly smoking cessation. Additionally, as a reminder, please remember that during snow emergencies, it's so important that we all do our part to keep our roads free of obstructions so our snow plows and emergency vehicles can pass safely. I know that the entire town board joins me in thanking our town crews who really were out there 4 days and nights clearing our many, many miles of roadways. And they were able to do this more effectively and efficiently in areas where residents cooperated, where they kept their streets clear of vehicles, basketball hoops, whatever else, they may have had out in the road. When cars remain in the street, it severely limits the plow's ability to clear the snow. It's difficult for a snow plow. It's not like a car or an ATV to kind of scoot around the vehicles that are out in the road. And I have to tell you, it was very, very discouraging to drive through some neighborhoods and see that there were mounds of snow in the road where the cars were. So we just ask residents to please do their part. So again, as in any emergency, we all do best when we come together and understand that we are there for each other. And also to be mindful of clearing fire hydrants and also drains. If you've got a drain in front of your home that might be blocked by snow, keep it clear. And also those of you who have snow blowers, please don't be blowing or shoveling your snow back into the road. It certainly is counterproductive. So again, just ask everyone to be safe, and hopefully we are through with the snow. What do you think? Hope so. Let us now move to the agenda. But before we begin, I just want to remind anyone who is addressing the board on any of the public hearings or the board ups that are on today's agenda, please either use the raise your hand function on Zoom or type into the Q&A line stating which particular hearing you wish to be heard on. So we will begin this afternoon with our 2 scheduled public hearings for the board's consideration. And I'd ask our town clerk, Olga Murray, to please read the first hearing notice.
Thank you. Today's first hearing is to consider enacting local law number 1 of 2022, amending local law number 8 of 2013, chapter 19 of the Islip Town Code, entitled Fire Prevention.
Thank you, Olga. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we close the public hearing, and I'll offer the resolution for its adoption.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the next hearing notice.
The second hearing is to consider entering into an airline use and lease agreement with Breeze Aviation Group, Inc.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Make a motion to close the hearing and accept the motion.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Cochran. I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Thank you, Olga.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, the first item on the agenda today is the appointment of Councilman Jorge Guadron as a member of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is the appointment of Councilman Guadron as a member of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency Board. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Okay, there might be something wrong with this agenda. Item 3, the appointment of Councilman Guadron as a member of the Town of Islip Economic Development Board.
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 4 is the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I'd call for motion for this board to convene. Motion.
Motion.
I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman O'Connor. A quorum being present. We would ask Mr. Walzer if he would please lead us through the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the agency board. John Walzer, 40 Nassau, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration this afternoon. The first would be to adopt the minutes, approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting.
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Venture One Acquisitions LLC. This project involves the construction of a 75,000 square foot industrial building on 5 acres of vacant industrial land. It represents a $21 million capital investment and promises to bring a minimum of 20 new jobs.
Great. Any questions? Motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is an inducement, an authorizing resolution for a project we induced last month for Bryad Lodging Group, the extension, a 2-year extension of their pilot agreement. Bryad Lodging Group, Central Islip at 7 Courthouse Drive, Central Islip.
And John, this is basically to reflect the period of COVID, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item is also an authorizing resolution for a project we induced last month for Bryad Lodging 2 at 11 Courthouse Drive, Central Islip.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by
Motion.
Councilwoman Mullen,
Motion.
second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. And the last item I have for you today is a resolution authorizing a 1-year agreement between the agency and JVC Broadcasting, Long Island News Radio.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
That's all I have for you today.
Okay, motion to adjourn the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. Second on that motion. Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. That takes us now to the meeting of the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency. I'll entertain a motion to convene.
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. We stand convened to meet him, a quorum being present. Where are you? Marty, you may begin.
I'm here, Madam Chair, members of the agency board, Martin Ballou, President of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency, 401 Main Street, Islip, New York. I have several items for consideration today. The first of which is the approval of the minutes for the December 14th agency board meeting.
Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Next item is a resolution authorizing the town attorney and/or the agency counsel to act on behalf of the agency when appropriate to protect the agency's interest in matters.
Any question? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Next item is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract between the agency and Germano and Cahill PC to provide general legal and litigation support services for calendar year 2022.
Any questions on the power purchase agreement? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Yep.
Marty, the next resolutions 6 through 12,
I have to do
all-
5 first.
pardon me?
I have to do number 5 first.
I thought we just did the power purchase agreement.
No. We did the council, Germano and Cahill.
Okay.
The resolution authorizing the president to execute a letter of amendment to the power purchase agreement with the Long Island Power Authority for the sale and purchase of electric power generated by the MacArthur Resource Recovery Facility and extend the agreement for an additional 5-year term.
Are there any questions on this? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Okay, Marty, so we go
Okay, so-
from
All right,
6,
so resolution 6 through 12 are policy resolutions required by the Public Authorities Law, which concern prohibition of extending credit to board members, code of ethics policy, whistleblower access, investment policy, conflict of interest policy, procurement policy, and asset acquisition and disposition policy, as
okay,
required
so,
by Public Utilities Law.
all right, so do I have a motion on these policy resolutions from 6 to 12?
Make that motion.
Outlined? Thank you. Councilman Cochran made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Resolution 6 through 12, outlining our policies, have been adopted. Thank you. Any other business, Marty?
I know that concludes it for today, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Oh, by the way, congratulations on the successful Betty White Challenge at the animal shelter. The last I heard, they received hundreds of packages of donations through Amazon. And I think we were at $5,000. And the challenge is still ongoing. So they did a great job.
Yeah, that was phenomenal, what the outcome, and I know it's not over yet, but
Yeah.
so far it's phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
That takes us then, oops.
Just have to adjourn the resource recovery hearing.
Well, after I pick up all the papers I dropped on the floor, maybe. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Who's
Motion.
making that motion? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman O'Connor, second by
Second.
Councilman Mullen. The Islip Resource Recovery Agency Board stands adjourned. And that takes us to item 6 on the agenda, the designation of Aquatech as the sole source for calibration and service of the gas analyzer utilized at the Blydenburg Road landfill facility. Any questions? Hearing none, motion. Motion by Councilman, I'm sorry, I didn't see who's that, Cochran?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Cochran, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 7, authorization for supervisor to enter into an extension of the professional services agreement with Faithful Friends Veterinary Services to provide New York State licensed veterinary services to the town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt a Pet Center on an as-needed basis through 2022. Any questions? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
A motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By
Second.
Councilman- Who made that second?
I did, Councilman
Okay,
Cochran.
thank you. Councilman Cochran, all those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next item is the cleanup and board up resolution. Taryn, if you will, walk us through that, please.
Sure. Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the town board, town clerk, Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. Number 1, to clean up the premises located at 12 Moffett Boulevard, East Islip. On this property, there now exists a vacant lot. There now exists overgrown vegetation with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
We do have someone who signed up to speak on this hearing. Roseanne Mord. Are you there?
Yes, yes. Hello, this is Roseanne Mort. I would like to report that we had an issue with the original contractor that we secured to clean up the property. They did some cleanup, but they left. They didn't finish the job. My husband found a different contractor, but there was another problem with him, which we found out late, that he was not licensed to work in Suffolk County. But now I have another contractor who is slated to do the rest of the cleanup, and he is licensed. I made sure of that. So that's my report.
What kind of an extension are they looking for, Taryn?
Ms. Mort, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's supposed to come on Thursday. So I think to the end of the week for that.
No, that's not, I'm sorry, that was the man who turns out not to be licensed to work in
Okay.
Suffolk County. So as much as possible, I have him, the new contractor agreed to do the work, but I don't know about his time yet.
Well, we certainly can't grant an open-ended extension here. Would someone
Sure.
like to offer a recommendation? Taryn, would you, a
We
2-week
could do-
extension would,
We could do 2 weeks if that's fine with the
Okay.
board.
all right, that's reasonable.
May I ask, may I ask, would a month be possible? That would take me into March when the weather is better? If that is an issue, I'm not sure,
Well,
but
2 weeks will take you into March,
okay.
all right? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen on this particular resolution, and we're allowing a 2-week extension. Next item,
Number 2, to board and clean up the premises located at 15 Julie Crest, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with overgrown vegetation and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premises.
any questions on this?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 3, to board and clean up the premises located at 32 Hilliard Avenue, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows with an unregistered vehicle, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premises.
Any questions? I have one question, Taryn. That vehicle, that pickup truck that's in the driveway, is that licensed?
That's the unregistered vehicle.
Oh, okay, perfect. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4, to clean up the premises located at 35 Pequot Lane, East Islip. On this property, there now exists overgrown vegetation, litter, and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 5, to clean up the premises located at 151 Reynolds Road, West Islip. On this property, there now exists overgrown vegetation, litter and debris, an unregistered vehicle, and an unpermitted storage pod, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
We do have a speaker on this resolution, Gail Paoletta.
Yes. Yes, this property is my mother's house who has recently passed away. I was forwarding her mail to my house, but the postman wrote vacant on the notices, so I never got the notice that there was a situation. I didn't even know the house was vacant. I thought we had family in it. So I only found out Friday. I don't have the title to the vehicle, but I do have somebody who's willing to take it off my hands once I get the title. I do have to go down to DMV since the owner is deceased. I can't do it online. I have the pod scheduled to be picked up a week from Thursday, and I already have bids from 2 contractors to clean it up. I was hoping to get an extension until the end of the month.
All right, since we've already granted one, I would think it'd be reasonable to grant one till the end of the month. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Just to be clear, the first one was for 2 weeks. Are we doing the same thing?
This one's the end of the month, which is a little less than 2 weeks.
A little more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah. We'll do 2 weeks, the same.
All right, 2 weeks.
Can you also clarify, is that 2 weeks before the execution of the cleanup, or are you
The motion's been
adjourning the whole
approved.
resolution?
No, the motion's been approved and it's 2 weeks for the execution.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll monitor, my office will monitor when they go out. The
Yeah.
crews.
And this last one, she seems to have everything in place already to get it done. Okay, we're on item 6.
Sure. Number 6, the board and clean up the premise located at 181 Thomas Street, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Okay, are there any questions? I know there's someone to speak on this one also. Nadia Amadazada.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, how are you guys? Okay, we are in the process of getting a permit to repair the foundation of this property. And we did clean up. I sent, I don't know, Taryn, if you received the pictures that I sent you today. And yes, and building inspector was there this morning and I have the report. So I wanted to know if it was okay to put a 6 feet side fence would be sufficient to secure the property. Well,
Karen, do you want to respond to that?
That's a question for the fire marshal, not for me. So if the fire marshal is there.
Is the fire marshal on now?
Yes, good afternoon.
Chief Doucette, if you
Yes.
hear that question?
I did. What was the time frame on the fencing request?
it should be as soon as possible, tomorrow, the next day.
Okay, our office would be okay if the entire property was fenced off with a 6-foot fence.
Okay, because what's existing there now is not 6 feet, correct?
Correct, and it's open.
Right.
Anyone can get in there.
Yep. Okay, so they'll agree to securing it with a fence, but it's got to be a 6-foot fence.
Okay.
I have a
Supervisor?
question. Yeah, I have a question. Sorry.
Councilman, you go, please.
Go ahead, Jim.
So if the property owner is going to put a fence around the property, that they're going to need to secure permits for that, aren't they?
This is going to be a site fence. Do we need a permit for that?
Typically,
Yeah,
it's a construction fence. It's like temporary fencing while they do construction.
Okay, thanks.
Do we need
Supervisor, I
a,
would suggest to still pass the reso though.
Oh, yeah, we
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Absolutely. And again, I'm willing to pass that reso with the 2 weeks to do what they need to do with the fencing.
Sure.
Do I have a motion or any other questions?
Is that your motion? I'll second that motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion. We grant them a 2-week extension. And second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. That takes us to 7.
Number 7, to clean up the premises located at 247 Sea Cliff Street, Islip Terrace. On this property, there now exists multiple unregistered vehicles, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all unknown persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor?
Yes,
Cochran?
Cochran.
Cochran, second
Second.
by O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to demolish an accessory structure located at 695 Broadway Avenue, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecure property, there now exists an unsafe accessory structure, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The accessory structure constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise, and the accessory structure is a detached garage.
It looks like this structure probably was never permitted. I mean, it's right on the property line and seems to cause a visual obstruction based on its close proximity to the sidewalk. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Hold on, there's someone.
Hello? We have one speaker.
I am so sorry. Lucienne St. Cyr?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
How you doing? I've met with the town, both inspectors. I just like everyone to know I've been cooperating in regards to what the town has been asking for. I'm in the process of trying to subdivide the property to build 2 new homes on it. The building inspector wanted me to take out a permit to demolish it on my own, which I went into the town to attempt to do, but they told me to do it. I need to find someone to do an asbestos test before I can get the permit to do the demolition. So I'm asking that the town just give me the time to fill out the paperwork and to find someone to do the asbestos test so I can get the permit to do the demolition on my own, and we'll continue the process to move forward with the subdivision.
Mr. St. Cyr, you said you've been working with the town. How long have you guys been working on this?
Well, I got violated a few months back. But
Okay, so then am I to presume that you've been working on this a few months?
as far as the cleanup and what they asked for, yes. And I've been out to the property. I've always maintained the property. The grass had gotten a little overgrown. I cut it. People had dropped debris, so I had a contractor come clean it up. There are a couple of other things that the town's asking for that I will be taking care of. So the main thing is just the demolition, which I can handle. I'm just waiting for the permitting.
Supervisor, I will say Mr. St. Cyr has been in contact with us since December. He's gone out a few times, the fire marshals and the building inspector. It's just each time they wanted more done. So I think it just wasn't to their standards what was done. And now the last time the building inspector went out, so he did try to secure the garage, but they still wanted it to be demolished. That they thought it was still structurally unsound.
Mhm.
The structure is very old. In regards to it being a hazard, it's very old, so it's not looking great, but it has been structurally in the same condition for many years. It's sustained whatever weather has been going on. There was just a snow load of over a foot, and it did nothing to the structure. It's in the same condition as it was in the past few years. So even though not in the greatest of condition, it doesn't pose any serious threat to anyone, and it is totally boarded up. No one can get.
With all due respect, sir, I don't know if you're a licensed engineer or a building inspector, but we're going to have to go with the experts who say it is not structurally sound. They don't make that determination lightly. And if they've determined it's unsound, I certainly don't want to be the one that says, oh, okay, if you think it's all right. we'll let it go. We just can't do that. The best I'll do, because you're in the process of getting that permit to demolish it, and perhaps it might be easier to, hire someone to do it for you. But in any event, given the fact that we've given a number of extensions today, I'm willing to give you 2 weeks to proceed with this. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman O'Connor
Second.
to proceed with this with a 2-week extension, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Thank you very much, Taryn.
I just have to say the last one's withdrawn. Sorry. Number 9 has been withdrawn as is now in compliance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will move then to item 9 on the agenda, the bid awards. Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Item 9 is approved. That takes us to 10, the option year resolutions. Any questions? Hearing none,
Motion.
motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11, town board approval to update the town's administrative procedures manual in regards to section 201, contracting and purchasing. Any questions? I'll make that motion. Second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, appropriation transfers. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, reappointment of Edward Wiggins as a member of the Board of Assessment Review. Any questions? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 14, the town board acceptance of 576 home COVID test kits from the town of Islip Community Development Agency. And, let me take this opportunity to thank everyone over at the CDA. Certainly Jay Bowers, Julie McGibbon, Sal, everyone over there, the board, the volunteers, they really, stepped up a number of times during this whole pandemic to help with masks and sanitizers and now the kits. So we thank them very much. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15, authorization for the supervisor to sign an indemnification holds harmless agreement for the event Youth Enrichment Services 2022 program. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Takes us to item 16, board approval to amend the Town of Islip investment policy to include the ICS program as an allowable collateral option. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. I'll second the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17 is the board approval of the list of names and titles of individuals who are required to file a financial disclosure form with the Board of Ethics. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next is the acceptance of maintenance easements and storm drainage access required at property located at 900 Sylvan Avenue in Bayport. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 18, acceptance of maintenance, 19. Town board approval to dedicate a portion of property located at 546 Montauk Highway, West Islip, to be used as a corner radius dedication. Question?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 20, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 21, authorization for the supervisor to execute a landlord's estoppel certificate certifying that the lease, license, and management agreement is in effect and has not been modified, amended for property located at 660 Terry Road, Hauppauge. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
Councilwoman Mullen, all those in favor? Opposed, approved. Item 22, authorization for the supervisor to execute a memorandum of understanding memorializing the town's agreement in regards to the contract of sale to be drafted for each parcel included in the Central Islip Downtown Revitalization Initiative Plan. This is so exciting. We're finally making some forward progress on that $10 million DRI grant from the state for the CI corridor. Certainly we were sidetracked a little bit.
Let me tell the supervisors, you dropped out a link.
Yeah, she's coming right back on.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. I got bounced off there. Okay, so I was going on about the DRI resolution. So do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 23, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept grant funding from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation for the 2022 Clean Vessel Assistance Program to offset operation and maintenance expenses for the town's pump out boat and 5 land-based pump out stations throughout the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none, motion. Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 24, acceptance of a deed from East Islip Landings LLC for parcel of land known as 0 Fox Run East Islip for a road dedication for highway purposes. Any questions? Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, it is approved. Item 25, acceptance of a deed from East Islip Landings LLC for a parcel of land known as 0 Fox Run East Islip for a recharge basin dedication for drainage purposes. Any questions? Hearing none, motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 26, town board acceptance of a monetary donation from the Town of Islip Housing Authority for the Town of Islip's 36th annual Just Say No to Drugs Sharpshooter Basketball Contest. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 27, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office of Aging for the purpose of providing continued funding for a residential repair program so popular with our seniors. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 28, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from the Suffolk County Office of the Aging for the purpose of providing new funding for a shopping assistance program. Any questions?
Motion.
By Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 29, authorization for supervisor to enter into several agreements for programs to be held throughout the town to be funded by either registration fees or grant fees. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 30, special events. Again, as we said last month, there are a number of street festivals and parades, and God willing, COVID won't rear its ugly head and we can go forward with all of these finally. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 31, appointment of a delegate and an alternate delegate to attend the 2022 Association of Towns Annual Meeting. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 32, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept any and all grant funding to assist with the costs, including all soft costs, for the relocation and replacement of the current compost facility with a state-of-the-art indoor compost facility. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 33, reappointment of Ginny Fields for a 2-year term on the Islip Town Environmental Council Board. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? I'll make that motion. Second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. You know, they've really done a fine job at ITech. There's been a renewed interest there. And we had a number of young people who reached out who wanted to serve on the board. There was a vacancy and the board interviewed the young candidates and did make a selection. I think we'll have that resolution on the agenda next month. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 34, town board approval to cancel change of zone hearing for February 17th and reschedule to March and reschedule the March 31st change of zone hearing to March 10th so that it's a little bit sooner in the month. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll make that motion. Second.
Second.
By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 35, authorization for supervisor to execute a consent to assignment and assumption of lease agreement and execute an estoppel certificate in connection with the assignment of lease agreement with Shell Air, Islip LLC, and Modern Aviation LLC pertaining to 1 Clark Drive. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 36, authorization for supervisor to execute a consent to the assignment and assumption of lease and execute an estoppel certificate with Shelter Islip LLC and Modern Aviation Islip LLC pertaining to the west side parcel at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman.
Second.
All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 37, authorization for the supervisor to execute a consent to the assignment and assumption of lease and execute an estoppel certificate with assignment of lease with Shelter Islip LLC and Modern Aviation Islip LLC pertaining to 90 Arrival Avenue at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By
Second.
Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 38, authorization for the supervisor to execute a Title VI policy statement and Title VI plan to be submitted to the Federal Aviation Administration in compliance with 49 CFR Part 21, non-discrimination in federally assisted programs of the Department of Transportation, effectuation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Item 39, authorization for the supervisor to execute an estoppel certificate for Mid Island Air Realty, Inc. as lessees operating an FBO operation at the airport to secure a mortgage for the First National Bank of Long Island. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 40. Town Board approval of the continued retention of Kaplan Kirsch and Rockwell LLP as outside counsel in connection with property development at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By
Second.
Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Town Board approval to utilize a portion of the town's American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds to compensate eligible essential employees. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 42. Approval of the establishment of the Islip Small Business and Nonprofit American Rescue Plan Act ARPA grant program to provide a one-time grant payment to eligible town of Islip small businesses and nonprofits. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 43, authorization for the supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Suffolk and any other necessary documents for the transfer of funds from ARPA to cover a portion of the construction costs related to the Carlton Avenue infrastructure project. This is for the sewer connection that's really going to make the expenditure of the $10 million from the DRI that much more meaningful. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 44, authorization for the supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Suffolk and any other documentation for the transfer of funds and DRI granting funding to the county for the construction of the Carlton Avenue infrastructure project. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. And I do believe that's all the business that we have before us today. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned.